Hey, nice to see you. I had an appointment, um and I left my house early to make it so that I would be, early for it. And then on the way, I got a text message from the person that said they needed to cancel. So I had to turn around. And so I said to myself, well, so I could use my time wisely, what will I do with it? And I knew that I needed to do some painting in my apartment. So I thought, well, on the way back, I'll stop at Home Depot since I'm out. And you want to see the color? Can you see it? It's this one. This one right here. That one. Because I had to get it to match that. See? The topic for today is it's minimalism, authentic living, and decorating. Now, if you know who I am, if you know who I am, I'm the Tidy Tutor, Kathy Roberts, the Tidy Tutor, and I have a website, thetidytutor.com. I help people who are just like me, scattered by nature, finally get organized and, really begin to live the life of their dreams, because now they can find their shoes, we can find our coat, we know where our pen is when we need it, all of that kind of stuff. And so there's lots of stuff that goes along with that. One of the things that goes along with that is getting rid of stuff. We've got too much stuff. And I recently moved from my 4-bedroom home to a 1-bedroom apartment. Recently, it's been a year now. This is a year and 1 month. I can't believe it. And when I moved into my apartment, I didn't want to just decorate because that's what everybody does. Because I downsized so much. I had 4 bedrooms, an attic, a basement, a barn, having real trouble parting with years of clutter. Retired, came up through, we too, always afraid. You know what? You gotta let go of it. You gotta let go of it. You have to realize this is what you gotta do. All right, I'm gonna put this down so that I'm not shaky. What you have to do is, World War II, I get it, okay. All right. You know that's just your story, right? It's just your story, the World War II thing. Like, we all have a story. We all do. My mother died when I was 5. Maybe somebody else, had abuse in their childhood. Maybe somebody else had a really cushy life and everything was handed to them. Maybe they suffered from some sort of disease in England. Okay. I understand that there's lots of trauma. There's lots of stuff. Everybody has it. Now, I'm not trying to diminish anybody's reality, anybody's past, anything that anybody has gone through in their life. I'm not trying to put that like, oh, it's not important or big deal that happened to you. Who cares? Buck up. That isn't what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that we all have only one now. That's all we only have is one now. And to allow all of our past experiences, either because of something like a war that we had no control over, we didn't make that happen, or what someone has done to us, especially when we were children, because if you're a child, you're the true victim, right? Nobody's a victim but a child. If you're an adult and things are happening to you, then you're a participant, okay? Then we have decisions to make and we can change those decisions. But we're talking about the past here because somebody made a comment. If you tell me your name, I'll be able to say your name. Somebody from England who's been through the war and she's retired, and she said she has such a hard time letting go of her things. She made that comment about, that. And Peggy. Hi, Peggy. Nice to meet you. We have a choice to allow what has happened to us, whether it was self-inflicted, whether it was an injustice, whether it was something that happened to us because of the time when we were born in the world, no matter what it is, disease, accident, we can't allow our past to dictate our present, which of course will completely write the script for our future. We can't do that. And you know what else? Something else that I have to say is that the reason that I said before is that it's really just our story, right? Is because there's lots of people, Peggy, that you know that have lived through the life that you've lived through. You know, the story that you tell yourself for the why you won't let go, or why things are the way they are. But yet there's other people that have lived through that, and maybe even more difficult circumstances possibly, but they're not living with all kinds of stuff and clutter and fearful of letting go of things. It's not the reason. It's not the reason. Although the reason that we make a reason is so that we can give ourselves permission for doing what we're doing or living the way we're living. If we don't want to live that way anymore, it takes a decision. That's what it takes. So I moved from my 4-bedroom house. I had a porch, I had a foyer, I had a piano room, I had a basement, I had an attic, and I had a barn in the backyard that had stuff in it too. And I lived there for about 16 years with my family. And I sold it and I moved out to a 1-bedroom apartment. And when I did that, I let go of a lot of stuff. I gave my daughter my dining room that I really loved. It was my mother's, and I had it all refinished and I loved it, and I felt like it was part of my identity. I'm an Italian woman from New Jersey, and we do certain things, and there's some things that are attached to that, and a dining room and my serving pieces and all of that, and my china closet, that was part of it. The word identity means to be made the same as. When we identify with something, it means we feel like we are the same as that. So it's hard to get rid of things we identify with. It's almost like getting rid of ourselves. How do we do that? Well, we have to really kind of like make another story. Take a look at the story we've been telling ourselves and say, is this serving me? Or maybe, am I not that person anymore? When I was, a 18-year-old, I was a different person than when I was a 25-year-old. When I was a 25-year-old, I was a mother and I was a wife. When I was an 18-year-old, I was a kid having fun. When we get a job, now we're somebody that works for somebody. We're an employee. We always become when we go to college, right? If you're in college, then you're a student. You graduate college, you're a graduate. There's always something that we become. But when you're a mother, a mom, a woman, when you are someone, a man too, of course, when you are someone who has a lifestyle that really completely encompasses you, like being a mother, right? You build a home, you make a family, you create this identity. But then what happens when you're not that anymore? When your children grow up, which I had heard this before. I started packing up my 100-year-old Victorian. There's nothing wrong with, I don't know what happened. There's nothing wrong with packing up your 100-year-old Victorian if you want everything in your 100-year-old Victorian. This isn't about doing what's right for anybody else. It's about what's right for you. We have to, and you know what? Let me tell you, this was not an easy process for me. If I wasn't the tidy tutor, I don't know what I would have done actually, because when I was, doing my blogs and stuff, which of course I still do, one of my people that follow me. Oh, I'm glad it's helping you. Great. They mentioned minimalism, and they said, her name was Christina, actually. She's one of my tidy tutor peeps, and I love her so much. And she said, you know what, I want you to look into this. I think this is really cool. And I was thinking, why do we have to do that? We get rid of stuff on a regular basis. It's what we do. We know that we cannot have too much stuff, and you can't organize clutter. If we're going to live an organized life, then we have to have only what we need and love. And we had a system to, really get rid of stuff on a regular basis. So I'm thinking, why do we have to do this? But you know what? All of my people were really into it, so I had to check it out. And when I did, it taught me some things. So I think that possibly if I wasn't who I am and I wasn't forced to learn the things that I was forced to learn because of the circumstances I was in, I don't know if I would have been able to even sell my home. Maybe I would have, but I don't know if I would have been able to move into a house, an apartment that I couldn't take my dining room. Maybe not. When I did move out of my house once, and I rented it out for 2 years, and I rented an apartment that was fine for it to fit in there. And so I don't know if I would have done it this time, but this is what happened. Because of the minimalism thing, I went into my porch, and I knew I was going to sell my house soon. I wasn't sure exactly when, but I knew I was going to sell it. I went into my porch and I said, I really would love this to be like one of those things I had on a Pinterest board that I made. And it was all white, and it had a chandelier, and it was very sparse and very clean looking. And what I had was more like a country, like I had my kids' pictures that they drew, my grandson's picture that he drew framed on a wall, and a shelf with some fun things on it, one little thing that my son made, that kind of thing. And I felt like it was me, But what I kind of discovered was I think that was me a long time ago. I don't think it's me anymore. So what I decided to do was do an experiment. I took everything out of there, and I took everything out of there, and I painted it white. I got a chandelier. I did what I wanted to do with it, and I found out that I absolutely loved it. And all of my fear and anxiety about making that change was unfounded. It was just because it was not in my comfort zone. And when we're not in our comfort zones, let me tell you, it's scary. When we are uncomfortable, what do we want to do? We want to go back to comfortable, right? So if you're moving outside of your comfort zone, what are you going to do? Thanks for inviting followers, Denise. Thanks so much. If you're outside of your comfort zone, what are you going to do? You're going to step back into that comfort zone. But then what does that mean? It means nothing can ever change. That's what it means. Do you want nothing to ever change? Now, if you're living the life that you dream of living, and you want everything to stay the same because you're so happy there, then of course, stay in your comfort zone. Stay where you are. But if you want to do anything different, even if you are happy, but things have changed, so you have to change, but moving outside of that makes you feel uncomfortable, you gotta do it. You gotta. Otherwise, going back in your comfort zone just leaves you exactly where you are, and who wants that? So what I learned from that is that I gotta get rid of stuff. And I have to live the way I want to live, and not because this is what's been told to me. So when I moved into thanks for the hearts, when I moved into my apartment, and I knew what I wanted to do for my kitchen. I know that I'm in my kitchen a lot, so I did what I wanted to do in my kitchen. And my bedroom, pretty much. I didn't put anything on the walls or anything, but, I made my bed. I have a bed, I have a dresser, I have a vanity. Not much in my bathroom either, very sparse, but that's the way I want it. I totally agree with your mindset. Thanks. But it's the way, everything that I did based on what I wanted to do. And if I wasn't sure, I didn't do anything, because I feel like part of me has been brainwashed to believe that we need certain things, instead of just saying to myself, wait, you want to just get what it is that you want, and not get what it is that you've been told that you need. So when I went into my living room, I thought, I don't know what I want in here. I don't know. I had no couch when I first moved in because my couch wouldn't fit in the door. I ended up buying a couch that was down the block from me in an estate sale. It was a leather sofa that I painted. So if you want to see this whole story, because I definitely will be blogging about all of this, it's part of my blog that I'm doing. I have an ongoing blog. One of them is called Minimalism, Authentic Living, and the other one is called I don't know. I think it's Follow Me in My Journey or something like that. So anyway, I've been doing that. So I went into my living room and I did nothing with it. I got a couch down the street from somebody because I needed something to sit on. I really liked it, but it needed some help. And I thought I could clean it. Didn't come too clean. It was light beige. I painted it. Wait till you see. It's really pretty cool. I painted it. Yeah, you could paint leather. And I didn't do much of anything else. I knew that I wanted a round ottoman, and I found one in an estate sale somewhere, or in something. I don't remember where no, that's right. That ottoman I had from my old house. I know, I'll show you when I get home. I had that ottoman in, if you go to thetidytutor.com, if you go to thetidytutor.com, in the middle, oh, wait a minute. You know what the better thing is? Go to thetidytutor.com/Periscope. And then you'll get on a list that I'll know that you want some information that I'm doing on a Periscope, and I'll send it to you. All right. So I'll send you my authentic living. You'll get a view, a tour of my apartment when I first moved in. And I'm doing more of that now because I decided that I want to do something in my living room now. So what happened was I had a hassock, and it was round and it was perfect. It's what I wanted. And I had it in my old house because my son bought my house. So I had it in the garage. He said, that's fine. I could keep some things in there. So I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't want to get rid of it. So I said, oh, that's perfect. But it was an olive green color, which I like olive green, but it certainly didn't match what I had going on. So I painted that too. Yep, you could paint fabric. That was, it was velvet, I think, is what it was made of. It was velvet. So I painted that. See, I'm not really into going and spending money that I don't need to spend. Part of living a minimalist lifestyle is not curing. What's the word? Somebody help me. Not getting a whole bunch of stuff that not only do you have to take care of and keep, but you have to pay for. Now you have to pay for it. Now the reason that I was able to sell my house, make money on it, and move out and live very meagerly on my business is because I live within my means. So anyway, I don't spend money that I don't have. And it affords me to live a life that is really, pretty wonderful in my opinion, because I'm not indebted to have to work for things that I already have that haven't been paid for yet. So the reason I'm saying all of that is because I wasn't about to go buy stuff if I could figure out how I could keep what I had and make it work for me. Now, of course, I had to buy a couch because I needed to sit on something. And so, what I did was, instead of buying, a couple $1,000 couch or whatever, I just went down the street, found an estate sale, and for $300, I got a great couch that I had to paint. All right. So anyway, now that I've been in my apartment for a year, and I know that I'm going to stay there at least through the summer till October. I don't know what I'll do after that, but at least through the summer until October, because I live at the beach and I really want to, enjoy the beach weather again. I'm going to make that room happy for me. I'm going to make it happy for me. I'm going to stay at this place for a while. I didn't know what to do before. It isn't like I didn't do something to that room before because I'm cheap, or because I want to live minimally and this is a proof of minimalism. I don't know. It was because I didn't know what to do. And I didn't want to just do it because of what I was supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to have a standing plant. You're supposed to have pictures on the wall. You're supposed to have, lamp on your end table. You're supposed to have an entertainment center. You're supposed to have, all of that stuff we feel like we're supposed to have. I didn't want to do that. And so since I didn't know what I wanted to do, I didn't do anything, which worked for me for a while. So now what I'm doing is I painted. This is the color. Can you see it? That's the color of my hassock. That's the color I painted my hassock. My couch is brown. And what did I just do with that paint chip I had? Oh, here it is. And I'm painting the wall this color here, that one. Look, it's very, very close to. See how close it is to that? If you can see it. See, this and this is almost identical. So I'm going to paint one wall this color, and I'm going to do something really fun on that wall that I've already kind of got started. I got 6 picture frames from IKEA with mat around them, And then I got fabric that I really love, and I'm going to frame the fabric. I saw this somewhere. I may have a Pinterest board that I call My Funky House, and I have it on there. So that's the idea I had. And so it affords me two things. It affords me to have something that really gets my creative juices flowing, because, when things stop being fun, I don't want to do them anymore. So it gives me an excuse to get things going in the house that I normally don't want to go to do and stuff, because it isn't fun, but I do something like this that makes it fun. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes we have to just give ourselves a reason to want something to look nice. And if it's a mess, then and you can't stand it, and you have a vision for that room, then you know that when you get done cleaning up that mess, you have that vision. It's like a reward. It's like the reward for your right brain that you have. We have to stop trying to be Martha Stewart and those people. We don't do things, and by we, I mean people who are way more right-brained and scattered by nature, quite a mess in a lot of ways, because you just simply haven't learned how to, because who teaches us how to are people that we really can't learn from. If we could figure out how we tick and then move forward from there, everything works so good that way. Everything works so great that way. Because when we're trying to be somebody else, it doesn't work. How can it, right? How can it? All right, so I guess that's that. I just wanted to have a little chat about being able to let go of things, to live authentically as who we are, to be minimal in our own experience, because it makes not only life simpler, but more authentic to you. And also decorating. A lot of people who are into minimalism think that to be a minimalist means that you can't really enjoy decorating anymore. You can't have lovely things around you. And that's not true. Minimalism really is individual to each person. I guess I need to start out, goes 8 slow cookers. Oh, yes, you do. You have to get rid of those 8 slow cookers. Yes, you do. When we hold on to things, how can you receive? How can you receive? An animal knows if they have, like, let's say a dog, right? Dog's got a bone in their mouth. They like that bone, right? Somebody comes along with a nice little piece of sausage for that dog. You know what they do? They drop the bone. They drop the bone. And they get the sausage. They're not afraid that bone's not going to be there later when they need it, or there's not going to be another bone for them. They're in the now. They're in the moment. It's what we have to do. Humans are the only people, the only species that want the bone, that want the treat, who don't let go of the bone. They don't let go of the bone. We want the treat, but we won't let go of the bone. What's going to happen? No treat for you. That's what's going to happen. No treat for you. And that's not what we want, right? So true. You are so right. It's great to hear. Yes. What you have to do, darling, is you have to put yourself on a scale and all your stuff on the other side of the scale. And then ask yourself, what's more important? My stuff or me? Because if I'm not moving forward in my life in the way I want to because of my stuff, your answer is clear. You're telling yourself, my stuff is more important than I am. It's only things. It's only things. It's just something that we've gotten accustomed to. It's really simply just a habit. Habits are profound. Habits are insidious almost. We definitely need them, but boy, could they hurt us in a lot of ways, because it keeps us in a place that we're afraid to move away from, because the habit has become so habitual that changing it makes us be afraid, because it's a different place. It's different. And it's become something that has morphed into nothing good. So I really would appreciate it if you follow me here on Periscope. You'll know when I Periscope. You'll see it come up. Also, if you will check me out at thetidytutor.com, I'd absolutely love that. You can put your name and email on my website, and you can get 1 tip a day for 10 days that will absolutely change so much about certain things that you do that will make all the difference in the world for life running smoother for you. Also, if you would like to have what I mentioned before, I have a video series on authentic living, and definitely I'm going to be doing my living room and what I'm going to be doing in it. It will be included in there, and you want to make sure that you get that. Then you'll want to put your name and email on my website, thetidytutor.com, because then you'll be sure to get everything that I'm doing as far as, whatever's moving forward from here. All right? All right, so thanks so much for being with me. I look forward to getting to know all of you. Thanks so much again. All right, take care.